Good afternoon. My name is Alina Shevtsova. I'm an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. In today's video, I would like to tell you about big changes that are proposed by USCIS in immigration law. Well, the first big change that is coming, I'm sure it's coming, it's increased fees. USCIS is planning to increase filing fees, as they stated, on average by 21%. It means that, let's say, application for adjustment of status may be as expensive as $1,500, and right now it's $1,225. So if you have a case that's ready to be filed, I suggest that you file it as soon as you can, not to face those increased fees. Together with that increase of the fees, what we also know is that it's going to be harder to receive fee waiver because the requirements are changing and it's getting very hard to get fee waivers. So keep that in mind. But that's not, I would say, the worst news. There is one more. USCIS believes, or the administration believes, that people who are seeking asylum many times do that just to receive an employment authorization. That, I think, what I got from the proposed rule that deals with new regulations regarding employment authorization for asylum seekers. And that proposed rule, that is just a proposed rule yet, it's not the law. It may be modified later, and it's not going to be what I'm going to tell you about. It's not going to be the final version as to what's going to happen. But what they are planning to do right now is this. First of all, they're planning to make the grant of employment authorization for those with pending asylum cases discretionary, meaning that USCIS may or may not give it to you depending on the circumstances. That's number one. It's a huge change. Number two, they propose that applicants would wait not half a year, but the whole year before they would be able to apply for an employment authorization. And if they receive the final administrative denial of their case, they will not be able to get an employment authorization. Who will be affected by that? Because very often if you get a denial of your application from an interview stage, your case is referred to immigration court and you still can continue getting your employment authorization. But I believe those who will be, let's say, in other non-immigrant status who are filing for asylum, let's say you have a student status, you filed for asylum, you qualified for the employment authorization, and now you receive the denial and you were not transferred to immigration court because you still have a status, you will be the person who will not be able to get the employment authorization, okay? Which I'm not really sure if it's going to be a big change from what we have today, but that's what they're plotting, okay? Now that the most drastic change comes from the proposal to deny employment authorizations to those who are filing their cases after 1 year deadline and for those who enter the United States illegally, which I think majority of the asylum seekers. The judge, I believe they said in the proposed rule that you may qualify for an exception, you may not, okay? But that's the general rule will be if you cross the border and now you're asking for asylum, you will not be able to get that employment authorization. That's one more change. Another change, if you would be having an arrest, a pending charge, you may lose or may not receive your employment authorization. You will not qualify for an employment authorization if you'd be convicted of an aggravated felony, serious non-political crimes, public safety offenses. They will think if to give to you an employment authorization or not if you would be convicted of a felony, state or federal, crime related to child abuse, domestic violence, driving under influence, driving impaired, and crimes related to controlled substance. All right. So now criminal convictions and charges may disqualify you for unemployment authorization based on pending asylum case. One more change, which I believe kind of going on right now already. If you are asking for asylum at the border and you're paroled into the United States, a paroled individual may ask for an employment authorization under C11 category. They stated that that's not going to be your category. You will not be able even to ask for an employment authorization under that category. You will have to ask for C8 asylum pending category, not something related to the deferred action of any sort. So basically, to sum up, it will be harder to receive an employment authorization. You will have to wait longer. Any delay on your behalf will disqualify you for an employment authorization. And I just honestly don't see much sense in it. Why? Because I'll explain. I think that people who are planning on working, they will be working with or without employment authorization, right? The big change for them will be that they will not be able to legally drive. So they will be driving without the license, okay? And that's a problem. And the main problem would be that those people will not be paying taxes, which also does not make any sense. I also believe that people who are crossing the border really will not be able to know all these little details of the United States laws about employment authorizations. That's my experience, right? And it's going to affect the most good people who want to abide by the laws and want to do everything correctly. And basically, if you stay here and wait for your employment authorization for more than a year and you cannot work legally, that's a problem, because there is a provision in the United States immigration law saying that after you file for asylum, you cannot basically work illegally, and you have to, if you do, it will disqualify you from adjustment of status. To my knowledge, it's not really enforced right now, but the problem is that they may start doing it, or however they will twist it around to start doing it, and that's a problem. So that's where we stand. Again, it's just a proposed rule. It's not the law yet, and hopefully it's not going to be adopted. Okay. You can read more about the various immigration news and immigration situations on our website, www.shaltsova.com. Thank you.